Hey y'all, what is up? Keasbey here. So today we are going to be looking at some replay videos for the budget guru control list. But before we get into that, don't forget to drop this video a like, subscribe to the channel for even more, and if you want to help us out that little bit extra, check out the link in the description to pick yourself up a playmat. So a few housekeeping things before we dive into this video. This is actually a re-record. The first version I did of this, the sound did not record properly, so here we are again. Next bit of housekeeping for this, because this deck was more built to compete at a local or learning the deck with friends without a huge monetary commitment to it, we aren't playing against strictly tier 1 decks, but we are playing against decks that are kind of adjacent to tier 1. And the last thing I want to mention, we do have a full power list coming out for this deck. I'm still testing it out. It's not quite where I want it to be yet, but as soon as it is, I will make sure to post it up and have some replay videos for it as well. So without further ado, let's get right into the games. Okay, so our first game is going to be against Shaddoll branded, and we're going to basically open with your standard guru line. I say line, it's activate Hidden City, set the guru you search, flip the guru. So in this case, we're going to search Fiendus. You'll see later on in a different game, there are times where you'll want to search the final battle. Obviously, we already have it here, but we're looking at a pretty good hand. We've got Ghost Ogre. This is actually an older version of the build, but I thought the game was interesting, so I wanted to show it regardless. We do have Effect Veiler for monster negation. We've got Fiendus, and we've got Final Battle if we need to pump up the Guru or turn him into a quick effect or just reflip him on our opponent's turn. So we are actually going to swap off to Necro Valley. Generally speaking, you don't really need the Hidden City on field anymore if you have a Final Battle in rotation, as at that point, Final Battle can insulate Guru from being destroyed by battle, which Hidden City does by negating the attack. Final Battle will do that by pumping up the Guru to a very large 3400. And it also gives you the ability to manually flip your Guru up as Hidden City does. Necro Valley is just really good right now, so we are kind of blind playing it, but it generally works out, especially given the rest of our hand. So our opponent's going to fire off Viper Patchwork. This is just standard Despia stuff. Another Allure. They're going to search some more. So, slight misplay on my part. I forgot that Guardian Chimera requires a monster on the field as well as in the hand. That was kind of more what I was concerned with this poly. But just stopping it's not the worst move anyway. So they're going to summon Kit. We're going to hit Kit with the Effect Veiler. We did that because we were just kind of hoping at that point maybe they didn't have the branded fusion. But we're also not overly concerned about what they summon because of Necro Valley. So they know Necro Valley exists, so they are not going to attempt to make the fusion that summons. And we are going to proceed to flip everyone face down. So just a reminder, we can do this because Guru is a quick effect while we control another face-up Subterra card, and for the duration of this chain, Subterra Final Battle is a face-up Subterra card. They're going to set one and pass. Start of our main phase, we will fire off Extrav, because we have to fire it off then. Great draws. We're going to activate the Guru. We're going to grab Archer here. Throw that back into the deck so that they don't get the graveyard effect, and we will punch over that with Guru. So we're in a remarkably good position from here. We'll set Solemn Judgment and pass. Our opponent will set 2, and we will flip face down and then flip face up during their turn, giving us an extra Guru search. We'll grab Subterra Cave Clash here because we kind of have everything else we need. At this point, we're in such a position of control that we don't necessarily need the second Final Battle. And Cave Clash will just help us keep Fienduses in rotation. Again, we can bypass Necro Valley because we have Subterra Final Battle. Flip up the Archer. We are going to prevent that, and that's going to let us flip the Guru face down to get yet another search. At this point, we're just going to grab Umostrix because we have everything. We're going to grab the summon limit because, again, we have everything. So this is a misclick. I did mean to activate Final Battle, but I meant to activate the effect that prevented effect negation. I clicked one too many times and it looped back around. So I wanted to be able to recur a Fiendus with Cave Clash under Necro Valley, but we don't end up needing it, fortunately. And it just let us get him for extra damage. With Guru, you're never really in a rush to get the game done with. It's more important that you keep your control tools in rotation than it is to get that extra damage. So that would have been the better move had I clicked properly. And we're just going to flip face down and then flip back face up. That'll let us get another Fiendus, and our opponent will surrender at that point. So that was game one, and you'll notice we did not use any floodgates. That was all just Guru playing pure control and, well, controlling the game. All right, so that was game one. Let's look at game two. Okay, so for game two, we are going against Shaddoll Invoked. They will be going first. So they're going to normal summon the A-lister, and this feels like as good a time as any. It's their normal summon. We want to keep them off any invocation plays. We are going to hit them with Gamma. They have opened invocation, unfortunately, but this keeps them off Mechaba, and they had to fuse from hand because there was nothing else in either graveyard. The Shaddoll stuff is kind of inconsequential to us at this point. They're going to get to draw a card. Hedgehog is pretty good. We would prefer to keep them off that effect if possible. They're going to draw into a Magical Meltdown, get an A-lister for next turn, and interestingly, they don't set the Forbidden Droplets here. I'm not sure if it's a case where they didn't want to get rid of anything or they thought Winda was going to be enough, but we don't need to special summon. We are going to fire off Pot of Extravagance, draw two. We are going to fire off the Hidden City. It should be readily apparent that this window is not doing anything. So a play that you can do with Guru, as you're about to see here, is normal summon him, flip something your opponent has face down, and then flip him back face up. This will now let us set over the window because attack value. We're going to fire off the Duality here, really leaning into that no special summon. Grab Archer because we don't need anything else. Activate Cave Clash here. They can't evenly match us, so it doesn't really matter what we do before or after the battle phase. And, you know, the little boost is nice. Not relevant, but nice. And we will set Final Battle, and we will set Metaverse and pass. Our opponent's going to normal summon A-lister. We do not care. They can do this. They're going to flip Hedgehog. That we do want to prevent. We will effect failure that. We're going to use effect failure here because Fiendus can also negate spells and traps, so we want to hold that till we very, very much have to. And now watch how we stop the invocation. This is really cool. We're going to fire off Metaverse, and we are going to activate Necro Valley. So now, because they didn't have anything to fuse from hand, they had the invocation resolved with that effect because they couldn't banish from graveyard. And this bypasses the protection of Magical Meltdown because we are not negating the activation of anything. Necro Valley is just a continuous effect negation, which again is why Final Battle can bypass it. So during the end of our turn, we're going to flip the Hedgehog back face down so that we can flip the Guru face up to get a search. We'll grab another Final Battle here, mostly because we can't really go into Umastrix this turn. So Final Battle is just the best search at this point. We have a Fiendus in rotation. We have Cave Clash to recur the Fiendus if we need to. We basically have everything here. We're going to fire up a Duality. We don't need to special summon. We are going to grab the Solemn Strike. Normal summon the Archer. Spin the Hedgehog back into the deck so it never goes off. And from here, we didn't need to use the Fiendus, so we'll just pump up the Guru for damage. Our opponent is going to activate a Meltdown. They are going to Forbidden Droplets finally on our Guru. Normal summon A-lister. I assume, remember, that they saw us set the Solemn Strike, and they will concede the game. So once again, another game where we did not have to use floodgates. The only reason I point that out is because a lot of people discount the Guru deck as, oh, get floodgates or you lose. But I do just want to show that, you know, just straight up control and out-grinding and out-resourcing your opponent is really what this deck does prefer to do. Alright, so going into game 3, we are playing against Branded Darklord. We are going first, and we have opened the Hidden City. So, unfortunately, these hands do lose to Ash Blossom when you open the Hidden City and no Guru. But even if we had lost to Ash Blossom here, we do have There Can Be Only One, we do have Solemn Strike, we do have Effect Failure, we do have Summon Limit, so basically we have a lot to back us up just in case we miss that initial search. And that is why we do run Gamma in the deck, because once again, if someone Gammas that search, if we have another Gamma, Lambda. If we want protection, Stardust, although Stardust would conflict with there can be only one here. Or if we just want a big boy who can do some cool stuff, Draco Berserker or the Tenyi. So let's continue the replay. We're going to set the Guru, flip the Guru. Guru effect will... So in this case, we are going to grab Final Battle because we have so much other stopping power, and generally speaking, in a game 1 situation, we're not looking at spell trap removal. You know, our opponent does have spell trap removal, but we don't know that. So they're going to start their turn. Just a general tip for anyone playing Despia, if you are using Branded Opening, especially if you are using it to special summon an Aluber, always do it in the standby or draw phase. It just bypasses it being able to be hit by Effect Failure. It's just time it a little differently and you completely take one hand trap out of the equation. We are going to let it resolve though. They're going to use Banishment. So this we're just going to stop because we don't want to deal with the Darklord part of the deck basically. So they're going to fire off Branded Fusion. So that is their second summon. In response, we are going to fire off the summon limit. They will fire off the Twin Twister, taking out our Hidden City in the summon limit. Hidden City is actually the best possible target at this point because everything else kind of has more importance to us. Again, like I mentioned in an earlier game, if we have Final Battle in rotation, Hidden City is nice to have, but we don't necessarily need it anymore. So we are, which is why we save the Effect Failure, hitting this and preventing them from going further into the fusion line. We could have also used There Can Be Only One since it, or no, because that's a worm, never mind, right? Remembering my typings, ignore what I just said. So battle phase, we are just immediately going to flip that back face down. They have one card left in hand, we have There Can Be Only One just in case of anything. We're feeling pretty safe. We're now going to flip up the Guru. There's Gamma one turn too late, but at this point it doesn't matter. We're actually going to normal summon the Fiendus here just to completely clear... Oh, no, we are not going to clear out the board. We are going to leave that face down. We will prevent that. Again, never forget, you can use Fiendus's effect to negate from the field. And now, because Aluber is a dragon, we are going to lock them in. Just a quick note. Aluber's Super Poly effect, or any sort of Super Poly effect, cannot use a face-down monster from your opponent's side of the field because this is an undefined card. Even Game State does not know what it is. And during the end phase, we're going to flip up Final Battle, which would have given us another Fiendus, but at this point, they are going to resign. Alright, for our last game, we are actually playing against Marincess, which is arguably a meta deck. I think it's very good right now. Our opponent is going first. They're going to fire off Sign-Up Mining. Oof. Just so you know, this is the dream go first hand for us. Extrav really eats Ash Blossoms. We would have had so much going for us if that was the case, but whatever. We're going to try to stop the turn here. There's times where, against Marincess, if you can get that initial body off the field, that's kind of it. They do have better extenders now to get around it, as we are about to see, but, you know, we tried. So, I also don't know the Marincess combo line particularly well beyond stop it as early as possible, but they end on a board here that I don't think is ideal. And I don't know if that's because we stopped that initial summon, or they didn't do the combo properly. If anyone wants to comment and let me know, I'm just kind of curious. So they do have a lot of stopping power in hand. They can fire off the Marincess wave because they have a Link 3 or higher, and they have an Effect Failure. So we have a little bit to chew through here. We're going to fire off Pot of Extrav. We'll draw 2. And may as well Duality first. We are going to grab the Called by the Grave here. Hidden City. Grab the Guru. Set the Guru. Flip the Guru. They are going to Effect Failure. We are going to turn off our own Effect Failure by firing off Called by the Grave here. They are going to attempt to Marincess Wave. I really, really want a Final Battle right now, so I am going to Fiendus to prevent that. The reason I want a Final Battle so badly is because we have Solemn Strike as insulation, and we are going to go into Necro Valley, which is really good against Marincess because they do a lot of recurring from Graveyard. And this is why, like I said, we don't necessarily need the Hidden City anymore. And we're just going to completely clear their field since they already normal summoned. And at that point, they are going to surrender. But once again, just kind of wanted to show how this deck functions with just using pure control tools. So that has been a bit of a showcase of what the budget Guru control deck can do. Again, I'm going to be working on a full power version of this list, and you know, in all fairness, we didn't play against purely tier 1 decks, again, tier 1 adjacent decks, but I still thought it was a very good showing of the basics of how you would want to play the deck, the kind of stuff it can do, and once again, really just emphasizing the point that Guru Control isn't Floodgate Pass. There's a lot more to it, and if you think of it as more of a very well-rounded control deck with some very unique tools, you will have a lot more success with the deck. If you enjoyed this video and you learned something from it, don't forget to drop it a like, subscribe to the channel for even more, and again, if you want to help us out that little bit extra, check out the link in the description to pick yourself up a playmat. And I will catch you all later.